Are you sick and tired of losing games that are this close in Pokemon Unite? If you are, then watch exactly where this game went wrong. You must understand the concept to win more games. It's got to do with overcapping the first tier goal. Right here, I'm going to slow down exactly where this went wrong. See, the goal's on 61. I get my 14 in, Dodrio gets 30 in, and the Gardevoir gets 30 in. That gives us a 74 score on a 61 potential. That means we got a 13 overcap. Now, if I had have put more score in, or if I had have not put my 14 in, that would have left the goal on 1, giving us an available overcap later on in the game. Here you can see a similar thing. The goal is left on 60. The Clefable puts in 25. The Gardevoir puts in 33, and then the Trevenant puts in 30. This gives us an overcap of 28 points. Now, generally speaking, you want to be putting in an overcap of 30 or more. I want to talk through this gameplay because this is just really good gameplay overall that just it reinforces the idea of overcapping. So you have a look at your team comp as always. You see if you've got an EXP share down bottom. Now, my goal really as the Venusaur is to just do a bit of kiting damage from a distance and just make sure I'm present at fights because we've got a tank, we've got a supporter, and we've got 2 people with the Slick Spoon, which is really, really good. So absolutely zero complaints with the team comp. Now we're versing a trio bot here, and you're going to see me make an absolutely criminally bad mistake right now. I should be playing on the pad. That is like absolutely criminal. Do not do what I just did. The worst possible play you could have made, because dying in that lane early just means that they're getting every bit of farm. Now thankfully our jungler came down and did absolutely amazing work and forced their team right back, which meant that I'm now back in the lane. If the jungler didn't come down, this lane is completely screwed because of my mistake there. So I'm kind of very, very thankful there. And at this point with Venusaur, Venusaur's not a really good securer. So it's very nice that I've got an EXP share in this lane with me. But Razor Leaf is not very good secure. Giga Drain's not very good secure. His best secure is getting that boosted basic off, which is generally pretty hard to time because you want to B-press it, which means that you can't really do that consistent damage to the enemy when they're near the farm. Right? So it is a little bit of a tricky Pokemon to secure with. So your goal is to try and get level 7, right? You're not pushing, and you want to make sure that you can execute kills. So you can see I don't make that mistake twice in a row. I've learned if I'm against this trio bottom, you just play on the pad, and look at that. The jungler has come down, the Dodrio has done a bit of a sweeping attack from getting all that mid farm, and then we really capitalize in this lane. So my goal here is, I know as soon as I get level 7, I get that Solar Beam with Venusaur, I'm going to be incredibly strong. So my options here are, I've got Score XP, so I quickly take that while I get the opportunity to, and straight away I'm looking to back out and get Solar Beam as soon as I possibly can, because Solar Beam is an incredibly strong move right now, guys. I think it's probably one of the most slept on moves in the whole meta right now. I think it's really, really good. There's a video coming on this build soon, and I think Giga Drain's definitely the move with it. That is not the focus of this video. The focus of the video is right there. That overcap, that was really, really bad. Now, I probably look back at myself, I should have done a bit of quick math, but this is in the moment, right? You don't get all day to sit there with a pen and paper and work stuff out. You get to do that, when you film the video and when you're reflecting, right? In the moment, you just want to put some score in and you need to be careful. So generally the rule is, if you are breaking the goal and you're not overcapping it by about, I'm going to say at least 25, generally you shouldn't be doing it, even if it's for a stack. Because when you break the goal, the first tier goal is the easiest to score in. So you want to put as many points in that as you can. So if you leave it on 1 and then you put in 40 points, that means you're getting 39 extra points for free. That's what we call the overcap. That's where the terminology comes from. But not only that, if you break the goal, you're giving them all the side farm. And you don't want to be doing that, right? You want to suffocate them. So generally you want to keep that goal active. The top goal you generally want to keep on 21. So if you get the Regieleki, you can get some overcap value because the Regieleki puts 20 points into the goal. But generally, what you want to be doing is overcapping these goals, because you're going to see, well, you already saw at the start of the video, we lose this game by 4 points. What that means is throughout the game is, if I had to put in 5 extra points, 5 extra points. That's like 1 Ordino's worth of AOS energy into that goal instead of going for a greedy 14 score to get some score experience, right? So sometimes you gotta look inward, but all that math is happening very, very, very quickly, okay? And then also it's worth pointing out at the Rayquaza fight, when is it a good time to go for a score versus continue to go for a fight? And that's something I'm gonna talk about at the end. So when you're playing Venusaur, when you're playing generally any attacker that's got the secure, you wanna make sure that you're a fight, that you're present from a distance, and you're there for the securing of the objective. Now this Tyranitar's been really annoying to me. He's just like overcommitting, trying to kill me using his Unite move, kind of diving really, really deep to try and get me, which is like, it's great. He gets the kill on me, but he dies and he doesn't really do his team any favor because he doesn't really get a lot of value out of his Unite. So sometimes you just take that. Now, when level 13 with Venusaur is really, really big, so you kind of have a bit of a responsibility to try and get that level 13 if you can. So generally you don't want to play from too far behind with this Pokemon. Now here is our Rayquaza fight. Generally you don't want to be using the Unite move the way I've used it, but this Greninja just decided to have a fight on me. So I decided to just completely wipe him as soon as I can. And Solar Beam is super, super strong. The cooldown is reduced like crazy when you get to level 13, so you're firing these beams off and they fire off a little bit quicker when you get that 13, right, when you get the Solar Beam Plus. So what you're wanting to do is you'll want to try and line up the enemies with the Solar Beam, and the Giga Drain helps keep you alive because this is a like close quarter Rayquaza fight. You need to use that eject. I use it aggressively there because I'm trying to push them right back. Now at this point of the game, look, we're 5v3 in the jungle and they are under an immense amount of pressure. So at what point do you just go, maybe as the Dodrio or something go, at this point, maybe you just go run top for a score because we know it's a close battle and we don't really have a rip on this team to do the objective. We've got the team fight all over. We've got such a good team for team fighting, but we need to make sure we're winning on score. And that's the problem in this game right now, is that we're not winning. Well, we don't know. When it says close battle, it's within 30 of each other. So we don't actually know if we're winning this game, which are one of the important things about Pokemon Unite. So you can see it's like, look at the amount of value we're getting out of the Solar Beam. Look at the amount of damage, right? And look at the cleanup that's going, right? Their teammate, I'm getting dived on by the last 2 alive. At that point, if you're the Dodrio, at what point do you just go, I'm going to score some goals, right? I'm going to run off and just score a little bit. You can see how Clefable went for it, but it was a little too late. They stopped the scores going on our side, and we end up losing the game by 4 score, which is mega, mega frustrating because as a Solar Beam Venusaur, your role is absolutely not to run off and score. Your role is to do damage and not take that much and try and get the secure, which is kind of what I was doing throughout the whole game.